It's Ash from Super Videos, back for another video for Season 11 of The Walking Dead. In this video, we're going to be taking yet another look at the photo that was released, not officially but by fans, from the series finale, which appears to show either a character death or someone who is injured. So we're gonna take a look at that photo again and I'm gonna analyze it. I already did 2 videos on this, but when I was reading through the comments, there was a lot of people with strong opinions about who this could be. So I'm gonna take yet another look at it and I'm gonna kind of consider a few other things that I didn't consider in the previous video that I did. And in this video, we're gonna be looking at whether she will die. And by she, I'm referring to this character who we're talking about, who I'm not gonna mention here in case you don't want to know. So obviously, spoiler alert for those of you who have not seen the photo and don't want to know, because obviously this is from the series finale, season 11 episode 24, which isn't gonna come out anytime soon. And this was a photo that was captured by a fan who was around when they were filming, which is very weird. I mean, it's insane to me that The Walking Dead doesn't do a good job keeping these things under the hood and lets these things get out. I mean, it's another Glenn and Abe situation all over again. I feel like everyone's talking about it. It seems like no one can avoid it. But anyway, I do want to put a spoiler warning in here in case you don't want to know any of the information we're going to go through, and if you don't want to see the photo or who it could potentially be. We're also going to talk about a potential script leak which was done by accident. So we're going to take a look at whether it was fake or real and what can we learn from what we see in the script. And obviously, if it is true, then it could be a potential clue about Rick's return in the series finale episode. So stay tuned, we'll be right back to break it all down. As always, before we jump into this, smash that like button, subscribe to join our community, and press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. With that said, let's waste zero time and get right into it. So obviously this is the photo that we're talking about. It's a photo that was captured by a fan called Tony Turner, who was around the area where they were filming, maybe one of the crew. This picture appears to show our characters in some sort of a battle, most likely a battle with the Commonwealth, and they're most likely either at Commonwealth or around the Commonwealth. And we see characters like Ezekiel, Eugene, Connie, Daryl, Max, Carol, Luke, Rosita, Gabriel, Magna, and Negan. But obviously, the part of the photo that we are talking about and everyone is kind of trying to analyze and break down is this right here. This is a zoomed in shot of the same photo. So we see Daryl carrying someone who's injured or perhaps dying. Again, we don't know if they're gonna die or not. Whoever this is, they could just be knocked out and they could be unconscious, or they could be injured to a point where they might potentially die. Now obviously this is not the real actress, this is just a dummy, a mannequin. And I've been using the size of the mannequin as one of the criteria for who it could be, but everyone keeps bringing up the fact that yes, maybe they're just using a generic mannequin and we can't really use the size of the mannequin as a criteria to pinpoint who it could be. To me, the size of this mannequin matches someone bigger than Judith, but smaller than like a grown adult, like Maggie or even Leah. Someone in between would be someone in their early teens. And who do we have as a female teen in the cast right now? Lydia. And I've been saying that I think this is Lydia, but there's been a lot of things that were said in the comments that made me reconsider. But one thing I do want to mention is it seems like whoever this is wearing a sweater similar to the one that Lydia has. But there could be a reason for that, and I'll explain. But a lot of people are bringing up the fact that this person has cowboy boots on, like the one that Judith wears, and they have the holster belt that Judith obviously has as well. So a lot of people are saying that it's actually Judith. I think this shirt could also be sort of added on top of this, because maybe this is supposed to be Lydia's shirt, but obviously Judith would be wearing it. And if we do take a look at some of the scenes from season 11, we do see Lydia wearing a shirt that has the same color with the same type of texture, but obviously the sleeves are much shorter. But if it is in fact supposed to be Judith wearing it, or this mannequin portraying Judith wearing it, then it might make sense why the sleeve is much longer. Or it could be a completely different shirt. I don't know why, but that's something I keep concentrating on, but I shouldn't. Like, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that it seems like that is the same boot that Judith has, and it seems like they have the same belt and holster that Judith has. And this right here actually appears to be the same Colt Python that was given to Judith, Rick's Colt Python. So that's another thing to keep in mind. But obviously, assuming it's Judith, we still don't know if it's Judith. I'm 50-50 at this point. It could be Judith. There's also a possibility that it could be still Lydia, but I'm 50-50. In my opinion, it's either Lydia or Judith. I don't think it's gonna be anyone else. I think it's one of the two. Assuming it is Judith, is she gonna die? I highly doubt it. I mean, Judith is such an important character in the story because she's a legacy character. What she could potentially do for the universe later on. If they kill her, then I think it's a massive waste of a character, and I think it's another Carl situation all over again. There might be subtle hints that they are actually gonna kill her though, because in one of the previous episodes in season 11, it was none other than Sebastian that threatened to kill or hurt the kids. So maybe they're gonna do a remix version of the comic story, and instead of Sebastian killing, spoiler alert, Rick, it'll be Sebastian hurting or even maybe killing Judith. But like I said, if they do that, then I think it could be another Carl situation all over again. Even though in this story it might kind of fit, but it's another Carl situation, and you're just killing off a character that's a legacy character that means more to the entire story than just this part of the story. Now we're gonna take a look at a script that could have been leaked or unintentionally revealed to everyone. We have someone from the writers team, most likely, posting this on Instagram, and it shows the final page of the series. But obviously they have covered all of the text, so we only see end of series. And in the description, they say, I just read the final episode of The Walking Dead. It usually says end of episode, but obviously it's saying end of series because this is for the final episode of the series. Now this in itself may not necessarily look like it's a leak or a spoiler, but people actually changed the saturation and the color a little bit so that they could see if we can see anything in the faint text that's underneath the page. And we can actually see that by changing the saturation enough, you can actually make out a few words. Now, I'll leave this up to your own interpretation. I personally don't see this, like the text that they have. I see maybe part of it, but not the entire word. So I think it might be a stretch, but I'll leave it to you to decide. And what actually adds credibility to this is the person that uploaded this photo to Instagram took it down. So maybe there is something to this. But the two big things that you can obviously see is there is a potential reference or mention of Rick in the script, and even something related to Atlanta. That's interesting. I mean, it obviously does reveal that Rick may make an appearance in the final episode. But at the same time, even though it says Rick, it could just be someone saying Rick's name. It may not be Rick in the actual episode. So there's another aspect to it that we need to consider. But even if it is Rick, we don't know what the story is going to entail, where he's going to appear. But if it does in fact say exterior Atlanta, like this person found, it's possible that Rick could actually appear in a scene that is in Atlanta. And in my opinion, it makes the most sense for it to be some sort of a flashback scene, because why else would Rick be in Atlanta at this point? You know what I mean? I've always thought that Rick will probably come back in the final episode, but I've always been on the boat where I think he's gonna appear in the final moments of the final episode. And this does seem to support that to an extent. Now obviously we don't know if Rick is gonna appear in any episode before. Like, this doesn't prove or disprove that. This for sure makes it a possibility that he'll be mentioned in the final episode, which makes sense, or the possibility that he'll appear and it might be in a flashback scene with him in Atlanta. And the other thing that kind of connects the two topics that we talked about, if this is Rick coming back in the final episode, and if it is in fact Judith who gets injured and may die, then there's a possibility that they're gonna do the same thing that they did with Rick's final episode and Michonne's final episode, by bringing up characters of the past who had a big impact on the character that looked like they were gonna die or leave. They're gonna visit some of the previous locations that we've seen in the story, so they could be doing something similar. And if Judith is in fact quote unquote dying, then it's possible that they're gonna have her appear alongside Rick in some sort of a hallucination scene in Atlanta, something like that. It's also possible that they're gonna pull yet another CRM Rick move, have Judith be injured to a point of possible death, and have CRM show up at the last minute and take her away. Maybe with someone that we know. I don't know who that might be, because obviously Carol and Daryl are gonna do their own thing in the spin-off. Obviously, if that's still true, and Negan and Maggie are gonna do their own thing in their own spin-off. Again, if that's true. So I don't really see everything working out properly if one of them is gonna go with Judith. But that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to talk about in this video. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, smash that like button, subscribe to join our community, and press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.